Well, welcome to Rev Up. My name is Tommy, and I am your instructor for this Rev Up session. I'm also an active realtor and broker in charge. So let's go. The topic for today is holding successful open houses. Successful is the key, okay? Successful open houses. So this is module 7. And before we get started, let's look at our affirmations. So as we do with beginning any of these modules, we want to look at these affirmations and we want to internalize them because they help us master our content, master our trade, master our craft. So I'm going to read this to you first. It says, I am professional in every way, in dress, manner, knowledge, and action. So on 3, I want you guys to say that with me. So 1, 2, 3. I am
professional in every way, in dress, manner, knowledge, and action.
All right, thanks. You may go back to mute. All right. Again, as I think I've told you before, if you want to screenshot any of these, please do. We don't give out the PowerPoint, but we are here to help and follow up. Should you need anything, need any notes, we can help you with that. So our learning objectives today are to learn about the purpose of open houses, how to select homes to open an open house, how to prepare for and increase attendance at an open house, and staging and setting up your open house for the day or the 2 hours that you're going to be holding that open house, whatever it looks like. We're also going to be talking about the methods for meeting attendees and getting appointments, how to convert more prospects into clients, and some of the open house protocol and follow-up systems that are really important and key. All right, so let's go ahead and start out. How do we have success with open houses? Now, while I'm teaching, if you have any questions, just put them in a chat box and I'll stop and answer those questions. So what are some of the benefits of open houses? Let me give you 4. So number 1 is lead generation, okay? Especially not just for new agents, but any agent. So the benefit of an open house is to get in front of and or source more leads for your business. So we'll talk about that. The second way is, or benefit, is exposure. Okay, so how many people know you're in the business? I think one of the areas agents get stuck the most, you know, they may be the most polished agent, most you could have everything together, the best website, but if nobody knows about you, it's not going to do you any good. So if done properly, open houses are a great use of your time. Notice I said properly. And then the worst case scenario, this is the benefit. Worst case scenario, you get lots of work or practice done. So when you go out and you host an open house, one of 2 things are going to happen. You're going to have clients walk in, prospective clients. You're going to get to talk to them. You're going to get to practice communicating with them. You're going to get to practice your objection handling. But let's just say you have a rain out. Nobody comes. Well, you have your laptop with you. You got your Wi-Fi. You're going to be able to get some work done without what? Canceling the open house. So anyway, we'll talk about that as we go through. Now, we're hoping that everything is set up right. You have good weather and people show up. So the first thing we want to talk about is attitude. And we talk about this a lot in Rev Up. So mindset is everything. Attitude, you know, John Maxwell said, attitude will determine your altitude. I really believe it because the attitude that you have is either going to set you up for success or failure. So you're going to have to go into, just as with anything else in sales, you're going to have to go into an open house with an attitude that says, hey, we're going to win today. We're going to be productive. We're going to have lots of people come up and I am going to get business. Okay. And also that attitude will help you to plan and prepare and know the market. So what do I mean by that? So if you have a go-getter, and I think it's more than just attitude is the start of it. But it's one thing I tell agents, like, we can give you all the resources, all the support, but I can't give you the hustle. You've got to bring that. That comes from your heart. So this planning and preparation is key. So if you're motivated, guess what? You're going to go out and prep for this upcoming open house. Okay. Also, if you're a successful agent, you're going to dress the part. Okay. And I'm not going to tell you how to dress. I can give you some do's and don'ts, but I think you guys know by now what professional is. Professional for you. It's you are the one holding the open house. Remember, you represent realtors in general, but you represent your business and you also represent our firm. So how do you want to position yourself in front of prospective business? Now, I have seen agents wear a lot of different things. But again, we'll say, let's keep it business professional. All right, selecting the property. Wow. In today's market, it's basically any property. Just pick a property, do an open house. You're gonna have people come in, right? Because we have a low inventory market. However, what you want to consider is one of the key factors, and you probably learned this before you ever got into real estate, but location matters, doesn't it? If people decide, hey, we all want to congregate, we like Valentine, we're all moving there. Well, guess what? And that happened at one time, but guess what? Prices are going to go up. Okay. Demand goes up, prices go up. Everything goes up. So when you pick an open house, make sure it's in a location where you want to do business. And what I mean by that is, okay, do you want to do business in the $100,000 range or the $300,000 range? If you're an agent like me, especially just starting out, I'll take them all. But if you're trying to position yourself in a particular location, region, or price point, you might want to think about location. Then condition, price, and terms. What's the condition of the property? And we've got worksheets to help you go through that. How would you price that property? What terms possibly are available? And that's, that's a consultation with the homeowner or the seller. By the way, do you have to do an open house on your own property? No. You can ask any agent with Realty One Group Revolution, could you do an open house for them? Most of the time, they're going to say yes. So anyway, your own. Hold on, let me get ahead of myself here. Could be your own property, your own listing. Okay. I hope if you've checked the box on your listing agreement that you're going to hold an open house and your seller wants you to, that you will follow through with that. However, you may want to set up the open house when you set up the listing, because otherwise you may not have time to schedule an open house because you may be under contract. So research your office listings, look and see what we have, and then ask the listing agent, hey, can I do an open house on your property? Now you see there's an image of one of our open house signs. By the way, we do have some signs that are available. They are limited. We have, I don't know, 5 or 6, but you can usually find these at the Charlotte office. And if you don't see them there, please let us know. That means an agent has not returned them. So otherwise, I would ask you to go ahead and invest in these signs. I think that open house sign might have been $20, both sides. They're not that expensive. So go ahead and get your own personalized signs, because you want your phone number on there so they can call you. If if you're still a provisional broker, you have to put the office phone number. So instead of putting the phone number right now, I would just put what? You would just leave it, okay? Otherwise, you have to post our office contact information until you're a full broker, okay? All right, hold open houses and on listings in your farm area. So this is getting a little further when you're a more seasoned agent, I would say, where you can pick and choose the area that you're farming. You would ask to hold open houses on listings that actually fall within those geographical areas. And then how about vacant versus occupied properties? There's a different way you're going to handle or host the open house if it's vacant versus occupied. And then weekends versus weekdays. You know, most agents hold their open houses on weekends. However, you can do a broker open house during the week, okay? And those bring traction as well. Now, you're not going to get clients, but you might get the property sold. All right. So we have what we call our open house toolkit. So what we recommend that you have before you do any open house is you have a minimum of 6 to 12 personalized open house signs. So you don't need really 12. So a minimum is 6. The reason I say that is because you might have a couple listings where you need 2 or 3 on each listing. And these things get missing. People pick them up, they knock them down, they get destroyed. So go ahead, if you buy them in a batch of 6, they're usually cheaper than buying them solo. Business cards, you want to have business cards on hand. You want to have information about the area on hand, and you can get that in our one suite in the market. What was it called? Crap, excuse me. It's the market update, I believe, that you can send out to your clients. Buyer handbooks. Okay, I need to change that from handbook to buyer guide. I have a buyer's guide that I think I gave you guys in the buyer module. If not, I can get it to you, but you can take it and personalize it and make it your own. It's a color guide, step by step, what happens from contract to close. Also, personal marketing materials about yourself. I would have a one-pager talking about your unique value proposition, who you are, and any property disclosures, you want to have them available. For example, the residential property disclosure, the oil, mineral, gas, any disclosures that would help the potential buyer. Also, invest in a clipboard. You can get them for just a few bucks. Walmart or Lowe's, some sign-up sheets. I think I'm going to give you a sign-up sheet. If not, I've got one somewhere. You can take it and download the template and print out your own sign-up sheets. It's pretty simple. You just need the basic information. You need their name, email, phone number at a minimum. If at all possible, get the email over the phone number because you can still contact them in case they give you a bad phone number. I guess they could give you a bad email too, but anyway, have your tablet or laptop at the open house. You can use an open house app. So it's easier if you do have a tablet where people can sign in and it automates everything, populates everything right into your database. Bottled water, have some waters there for people. It's always handy. Table and chairs, if it's a vacant property, bring a table for you to set your laptop on and your deliverables, the takeaways that you want people to pick up, and a chair if you want to sit every once in a while, or have a chair for the client to sit if they're going to fill out any information. A flashlight, as always, I keep that in my backpack, my real estate backpack, and pens. All right, preparation and promoting the open house. So first of all, you want to preview the listing. You want to drive by ahead of time and look at the listing, drive around the neighborhood, get all the visual information that you can get. Then you want to go online and you want to search the specific listing, you want to search the comps in the neighborhood, and then you want to go out a couple miles and just see what's happening. Okay. That way, you know what's going on locally and also what's going on digitally. That'll let you know how many signs do you need. From the hardtop road down into the subdivision, how many turns are we going to make? I need a directional sign at each turn, that kind of thing. Get sign permission. What this means is if you're going to put your sign on somebody's corner lot rather than on a common area, you need to get that homeowner's permission. I would try to stay in the common areas, like right beside the stop sign, etc. Also know the laws about signs or the local ordinances. Like, for example, I know that in Union County, your real estate sign can stay up from Friday evening until Monday morning. So basically you put them out Friday evening and you pick them up Sunday night. Otherwise, they might get missing. You also want
Where can we find that information?
Yep. So you can contact the HOA. You can go in one of the Charlotte area realtor Facebook group and ask, because somebody's been there, done that. But also you can go to the town of Matthews and look at their ordinances, and they'll have a sign section for signs. So it's not just real estate agents that put signs out, right? It's anybody that's marketing any kind of business, yard sales and all of that. So yeah. So local websites, town of Indian Trail, town of Matthews, town of Monroe, that kind of thing, and HOAs. Again, like I said, preview the surrounding properties, know the inventory, okay? So it doesn't mean you have to have memorized everything, but it means you've got a good idea of what's going on in that neighborhood, that area. So when people come through, you'll be able to talk to them about it. I spent about 2 hours doing my research initially. At this point, been in the business for 16 years, a lot of the general areas I know. Some of the specific subdivisions, some are newer in the last 5 years. So I have to go drive out there, just look at the local nuances and things like that. Some tools you can use if you go in Canopy and look under resources, you can use Remind. That'll help you get address, phone list for the subdivision, because as you're preparing and you're letting people know that you have a upcoming open house, you want to send them cards, or you want to send them mailers, or you want to go door knock. So that's a good way to get the addresses downloaded and into your database. Invite your circles of influence. So people are prospective buyers that are looking in that area, invite them to the open house. Invite agents that that are looking for particular properties in that area, invite them to your open house as well. Because guess what? They'll bring their clients too. It's okay to have agents at our open houses, right? We work together. By the way, I can't tell you how many times another agent, because you've held a successful open house, will send you referrals, okay? Agents go on vacation, agents get sick, agents can't always work, so they want somebody they can count on to help them. So holding a successful open house for them might turn into referral business for you. Now, how do we coordinate our advertising? So we can prepare flyers. I've got a copy of one I'm going to give to you. Invitations for the open house. You can make sure the listing agent, if it's not you, post the open house on the MLS. You got to do that. I would say at least 5 days out. So if you're doing a coming soon, you've got plenty of time to announce an open house. Or as soon as you take that listing, go ahead and post that open house. Now you can do it with limited time if you want, but the optimal time is to give people 3 to 5 days preparation. All right, and then you can post it to internet sites. You can post open houses. I wouldn't post the person's information or the address. I would say DM me or something like that, but you can. It's going to be on the MLS. So, I mean, if it is on the MLS, it's game, but just be careful, especially if it's not your open house. You don't want to divulge personal information. Leave that to the listing agent. All right, what else can we do? We can go to our MLS and local association sites. So when it's published to the MLS, it's going to get all of those. You can post it to your website or your social media. A lot of agents post coming open houses to like the Charlotte area realtor group. And by the way, I keep mentioning it, so it probably means you need to join it. Join it doesn't mean you always got to be in it, because there's a lot of white noise, but you will find some helpful information. Advance notice on Signwriters. So what this means is you need time to go and have the sign shop create a sign for you if you don't already have one, if you want the writer. The Signwriters are things like under contract, just listed, will sell soon, or whatever. Okay. So if you already have some of those on hand, then you're good. But the sign shop and Indian Trail we've been using, I mean, they can same day turnaround if you need a sign or a rider. Create a video announcement on social media, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. And then you can boost ads. You can boost this. Don't necessarily know if you need to boost. You can, but any exposure will help. All right. Okay, prepare for open house. Okay, so what information do we put together for open houses? Okay, so we're going to put together a packet. It says for visitors, guests, whatever. So this is information they're going to want to have. So to start out with, they're going to want to see the MLS data sheet. Okay, same things in the MLS. You're gonna download and make copies, but it's going to be for the buyer view or the prospective buyer. You don't want to give them the data sheet with all the agent information, like just extra stuff. You want the one pager, quick info. Property flyer with your information on it. By the way, you know that when you post something in the MLS, it has to be void of your personal information. But anything you want to post on your own website, social media, you can put your information on it all day long. Just again, remember, if you're a provisional broker in North Carolina, that you have to have you have to add your office, at a minimum, office phone number. Okay. You always have, no matter if you're provisional or full broker, you always have to have our logo, Realty One Group Revolution. Okay. Include a plat map, any school information, nearby businesses, and you can pull all this off your website in one suite. Property feature sheets, and prepare a CMA on the property and neighborhood update. Those are things that we talk about in other Rev Up classes. Think about safety. When you're doing an open house, I highly recommend that you do it with someone else, another agent. Okay. Make sure if someone's working with you, I prefer a licensed agent, because you don't want to have somebody that's unlicensed talking about that property or giving out pricing information. So work with another agent. You can use your TC, or you can go out there with a lender or whatever. A lender is going to know their lane. They're going to talk about, financing, but just make sure you take someone out there with you, not just for safety, but also for other reasons, like you may have to go to the store to grab more water, or you may need to go to the restroom. You know, there are lots of different reasons to have two people there. All right, this thing about developing or having a code in case you're in trouble. That means leave a code with your loved one or someone else at the office and say, if you don't hear back from me by such and such a time, please, or if I call you or text you and give you this code word, please come get me or call for help, that kind of thing. All right, actually doing the open house. So the day of the open house, you want to arrive early. Look, as an agent hosting anything, you don't want to be on time, especially late, but on time is already late. So you want to get there early. So I get there to an open house about 40 minutes early. I make sure that the lights are on, everything's opened up, the curtains are pulled back, plenty of light coming in. I make sure I get all my flyers out, water, cookies, if you're going to do that. And you're able just to have, 15 or 20 minutes just to get your laptop up and just to sit there and think through, okay, what am I going to do for the next 2 hours? How am I going to greet people? Things like that. Don't forget to bring your note cards, business cards. Now, some other things you might want to think, okay, so what if nobody does show up and you want to be productive? Bring some other work that you can do. A good time to fill out your note cards that you're going to send to your database. Okay. So you can look at it. It can become a lead generation period if nobody walks in. As agents, we wear many hats anyway. So you can have your open house hat on, and then nobody's coming in. You can put your lead generation hat on. Then when somebody comes in, you can put your open house hat back on. You get it. All right, so we've started the open house. So the first thing you want to do is acknowledge the visitor or potential buyer, prospect, whatever you want to call them. Tell them to come in and just go up and meet and greet. When you do that, you don't want to be weird. You don't want to get up in their face. You want to keep your distance, especially now in this COVID environment. A lot of people are anxious about getting too close to other people they don't know or they don't live with. So make sure you keep your, don't stand all the way across the room now and say hello. At least walk towards them. All right, meet and greet. Ask them to sign in. Now, this is big because if you let people, they'll run in and run out. So what you're trying to do, though, is you're trying to get information and you want to convert. This is a lead for you. So a really good way to get people to sign in is have a sign or a poster or whatever and say, hey, for everybody that signs in, we're gonna have a drawing at the end of the day for XYZ. A gas card used to be the thing, which probably a good thing to do now. Whatever you think will get people off the fence and get them to sign in. So, and especially if you're going to give them something of value, they're going to give you the correct contact information. So a $10, $20 Starbucks gift card, a gas card, an Amazon card, whatever it is you want to do. Hey, look, if you can get 3 good leads for $20, hey, go for it, because I will tell you, leads, if you buy them, cost much more than that. So engage with them. Ask them open-ended questions. You guys know the deal. We've talked about this a lot. Find out what their needs, desires are. Now, if they tell you they have an agent, just acknowledge and say, thank you for telling me that, but I'm here to help you while you're here at the open house. So you can still ask them questions, but just make sure you're not that pesky agent. And don't shadow them. Don't follow them from room to room, but just be visible and stay where they can ask you questions and you can give them feedback. Okay. For parties or potential buyers, prospects who already own a house, you have specific questions to ask them, and we're not going to go through them here, but hey, how long When do you plan to list your house? How long do you want to wait before you put your house on the market? Or if you find that dream home now, or if you like this home, are you going to have to sell your house? For people who rent, you have to ask some questions about, hey, how long is your rental agreement? Can you break it? What are your intentions? If you find the right house today, would you be willing to give a 30-day notice? Any of those kinds of things. All right, and then we have to learn CMA objections. Somebody tell me what a CMA is.
Comparative market analysis.
Yep, and why would we want to do that?
I mean, it's basically your market report of the home, like what's going on in the neighborhood, the home's value in your or opinion.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is our number 1 tool for getting potential buyers off the fence, because when we tell them, hey, don't say, hey, can I do a CMA? You know, like, what's a CMA? Country Music Award? Just say, hey, I want to do a market analysis. I have the ability to do a market analysis on your house and tell you exactly what you can sell it for today. And they're like, oh, and it's free of charge. Okay, so what that does is, you know, it's giving them a report, however you want to do it, but it's telling them, hey, this is what I believe I can sell your house for today. So, but when you do that, they're going to have a variety of objections. They could be in a hurry, or they could be fearful of selling and then buying. But anyway, some of the objections are, oh, we wouldn't want you to go to any trouble. That probably is the number 1. And you're going to say, oh, it's not any trouble. This is what I do for a living. I love doing this for my clients, potential clients. And they might say, we're not thinking of selling, or we're not ready to sell right now. So without going through all of these, I have the cheat sheet for you that I'm going to email to you. If we have time, we're going to look at it for a few minutes. So after we've overcome their objections, our goal is to make the appointment. Yes, while they're there at the open house, your goal is, if you can, try to get them set up for an appointment to come back and see you. Hey, that market analysis I was telling you about, can you come to my office at 4 p.m. tomorrow? I'll have it ready for you. I have 30 minutes, or if that's, or if you need longer, we can have coffee, whatever. So whatever it is, however you ask people, but you want to make the appointment if you can. And if they're out looking at houses, I tell you, there's a reason why. They're looking for themselves or their kids. Now, they could be just the nosy neighbors. So they pretty much will weed themselves out. But entertain the nosy neighbor, because they might turn into buyers. All right, you want to learn and memorize the objection handlers. So the handlers are your what you will overcome the objection with. You know, well, I just don't know if I should buy right now. The market, you know, the interest rates are probably going to go up. So people have all kind of excuses, which means they're just, and I think that's really probably the default for everybody, is we just want the path of least resistance. But you'll be able to help them. So you're going to review the objections. You can role play with each other, and we don't have time to do the role play here, but I would ask you to pair up with another agent and role play through some of these until you are familiar. Okay, after the open house, what do we do? Because there's work still. Okay, you want to return the home as you found it. Okay, vacant or occupied, it doesn't matter. Return it as you found it. You want to have a little report for the sellers. If it's your seller, when they return to the home, or a later time that day or whatever, whether you call them on the phone or email them, I would give them feedback. Hey, we had 5 potential buyers come in, and okay, so if all 5 didn't like the house or said, you know, it wasn't for them, you're not going to say 5 people thought the house sucked, so we need to lower the price. you're going to say, hey, we had 5 people in today. Unfortunately, all 5 verbalized that they would keep looking, but you can kind of take the feedback that you get from the people that come to the open house to kind of get your seller. Say if you've got a seller who's say they got a paint on the wall that's just repelling people, that gold paint just, or whatever it is, you can use that and say, hey, 3 out of the 5 people didn't like the paint in the living room. Do you want to think about, can we talk about neutralizing that? Anyway, all right. You want to write a note to the seller. Thank you for allowing me to host an open house. And if it's the listing agent, another listing agent, you're going to send them a note and say, hey, I just want to thank you for allowing me to host your open house. You want to make sure you get all your signs up, get all your directionals up, any balloons. Don't leave any hanging balloons on like stop signs and bushes. Get all your stuff. We want to be professional. We don't want people to think, oh, there's that firm who left the popped balloons that are still hanging on that whatever. All right. And you're going to send thank you notes to everybody who visited because you have their names, emails, phone numbers, whatever. So if all they gave you is a phone number, you're going to text them. If they gave you an email, you're going to email. I would call everybody back at least the next day and say, hey, thank you so much for coming. Is there anything else I can do to help you? And it's okay to do that. Send a report to the listing agent. We already mentioned that. Add any new prospects captured to your database. Remember the 336? Yeah. All right. This is we're out there doing it. You know, we're not making phone calls. We're doing open houses. It's the same thing, same principle. You're going to add them to your database and make sure you follow up. Follow up. All right. Since we just talked about the 1 habit, those 3 calls a day, 3 adds to your database, and 6 handwritten notes will help you grow your database. So I am going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to pull up. Okay, this is what I'm going to email you. Can everybody see my ultimate open house checklist?
No, I just see the Realty One logo.
Okay, hold on. I know what I need to do. All right. I have to go back to my desktop. All right. What do you see now?
The ultimate open house checklist.
Okay. All right. Travis Robertson. I took coaching from him for a while. I love his checklist. He's got a before, during, and after checklist. Also, the objection handling. All right. So conducting the open house, it gives you the 1, 2, 3s, what we just went through, how to prepare. And then on down, it has our objections. Okay. So for example, CMA objections. The objection is, oh, we would not want you to go through any trouble. Then it gives you a response. And you would say, oh, it's not any trouble at all. It's part of my job. I do market studies on a regular basis in order to stay top of the real estate market. So you get the idea. You would change the verbiage for what you would say. Okay. Make it yours. Okay. So other objections. We know what our house is worth. We just had an appraisal or whatever. We just had an agent do a CMA. And then you would say, oh, that's terrific. And what did the appraiser or agent think it was worth? How long ago was this done? Or how about a second opinion? All I need to get started is to take a quick look at your home. Is today at 5 o'clock good for you? So the reason, you don't give up on people, because again, they're just excuses because they don't want to be bothered right now. Or they're afraid because they don't know you. They don't know that you're a great agent and do quality work. And by the way, if you know the market and you ask them, well, what did that other agent tell you your home was worth? And it's worth 10,000 more, boom, you've got them. But if you never ask them, you will never know that. And by the way, a lot of times that other agent that told them what their house is worth is a friend who's an agent who's maybe sold one house a year. Okay, so please look at these objections and responses. And then the next is I have, it's a PDF of an open house flyer that I created. It's pretty simple. I like it. And I'll tell you where I got it from in just a minute. Actually, I'll do that now. That's all the forms I have. So that's the forms I have for you. And let me get out of my RevUp. I got too much open on my laptop. Hold on. Stop screen share. Actually, no. I still need it. Okay, so you go, okay, you're gonna go to, y'all see, I'm in one login. Can y'all see that screen? Okay, so you're gonna go to one login, then you're gonna go to design, one design, which is what I did right here. And then you're gonna go to property market, excuse me, one-sided flyers. So I click on that flyer. It gives you, oh man, I've been logged out too long. Anyway, it gives you the flyer that I brought up. So everything in one design, you can order it from Express Docs, but you can also download the template and do your own. And that's what I did. I don't know if you guys knew that, but sorry, I'm not going to take time to log back in. But anyway, that's where I got my flyer. You can also
you can get it for free if you download it.
Yes. Yep. You sure can. And you can edit it in the system and then download it. So, and they look really good. They already have the company logos and colors added. So that's what I like about it. Any last minute questions? Let's see. I think I owe y'all. Let's see, stop share. All right, Christy, I will add you to the email list and send you the documents or the deliverables for this lesson. I think I have.
Hey, Thomas, how do I sign up for that on like Sunday when you send out the email? Do I just email you back?
So
because there's been a couple of weeks that I haven't got any forms or anything.
Yeah, so I've been waiting until people are actually on it, and because I've just been sending out stuff to people who never get on, so I quit doing that. So I give them out day of.
Okay.
Because there's really nothing we're going to work on together or during this because we just don't have time. So, and I'm kind of doing that because I want people to get on and get the training.
Right.
So, and I understand if you're going to be out, yeah, let me know and I'll send it to you. But that's the only reason I was doing it, try to get more people to get engaged and get on the rev up, the live rev ups. But all right, so if there's not anything else, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.